Okay, so we're gonna first talk about the most important event, in my opinion, event number one, which is Star Wars. So I was born in 2001, and so the number one Star Wars. How Star Wars worked is it goes in sets of trilogies. So the first trilogy, numbers 4, 5, and 6, was originally done in 1977. Was when the very first Star Wars number 4 came out, which is A New Hope, and that was the year my dad was born. So that was pretty cool. And then so on, George Lucas and another guy did the first trilogy. When I was born in 2001, I believe Star Wars 1 was a couple of years before. I think it was 1999. But in 2002, they came out with Star Wars Episode 2, which is the second in the second trilogy, and then Star Wars Episode 3. Personally, and pretty globally, the second trilogy is seen as crappy. It pretty much is. But it is still very, very important to the Star Wars story. And you have to watch them to understand the full story in real depth. But the first trilogy is much better. The third trilogy is a new trilogy over here that's coming out. And it was I don't know why it added that Star Wars The Clone Wars. They did make that. I didn't really like them. They're kind of they're not that great. But that does help you understand the Clone Wars. That is the time period in between Star Wars Episode 3 and Star Wars Episode 4, which is number one, so to speak, in the time of how the movies were created. The timeline of Star Wars actually goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how it works, but the trilogies are switched. So in 2015, I was 14 years old. Star Wars Episode 7 came out, and when this happened, obviously for me it was a big deal. For my family, it was a huge deal. My uncle got a theater rented by his work or something. We all went and watched it. Big deal for me and my family when Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, came out in 2015. And I actually love this movie so much that I watch it every year for my birthday. And it's amazing. If there was one Star Wars movie I'd recommend, it would be Star Wars 7. It's really, really, really well done. The characters are awesome. I love the new characters. I love the story behind it and how it kind of goes on. Some people complained that Star Wars 7 was too similar to Star Wars 4. Yes, it is, but it's also totally different, and it's a good story. I mean, it works. And then just last year, Star Wars The Last Jedi came out. In between those, they had Rogue One. It's not in here, but Rogue One is in between number 3 and 4. No. Yes. No. I don't remember. I forget. I think it's in between 3 and 4, yes, because it's when they find the plants. So Clone Wars and 3 and 4, or Clone Wars and Rogue One are kind of in between the big long time period between numbers 3 and 4. Except I think Clone Wars is in between 2 and 3. I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. Anyway, so the Rogue One was also really, really good, and you get a little bit more of an inside look at the first, Darth Vader's workings when he first became in charge. And then The Last Jedi was amazing. That came out last year. And next year, we're having the last movie in the third trilogy. So, for me, this is a big deal, which is why it is event number 1. And let's continue to see what else is important in this world.